Hello everyone, my name is Emily and this is the February video for the Box Book Society. Now if you are new here, the Box Book Society is a program here at Fayetteville Public Library that allows kids to participate in a book club without all of the general pressures that normally come with said book club. When you join the Box Book Society, you get a box, of course, with your book and some snacks and a couple of other trinkets. And while we require you to attend the meeting at the end of the month, we don't require you to have finished the book. So if your schedule is super packed, or you have too much homework, or you just don't get to it for some other reason, that is totally fine. We understand. The goal of this book club is not to pressure you, it is just to have fun. Every month we pick a new genre, and this month's genre is social justice. And we are reading The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. The Poet X follows Xiomara as she tries to figure out where she fits in the world. Between her mom pushing their family's religion onto her, and liking a new boy at school, and growing into her own body, she doesn't really know where she fits. And then she's invited to join her school's slam poetry club, and things start to click. As she goes on in this club, she learns to find her voice, and she wants to make herself heard. This is Elizabeth Acevedo's debut novel. It has won multiple awards, it is critically acclaimed, so it was definitely an easy choice for us this month. Like I said, when you sign up for this month, you do get your own copy of the book to keep, but that being said, we do only have 10 spots and it fills up pretty fast. As always, I wanted to give you guys a couple of other recommendations to read if you do like The Poet X or you are interested in other topics in this social justice area. And before we get into it, I do just want to make a little bit of a disclaimer. If any of these books catch your eye or make you more interested in learning about certain topics, the library is a great resource as far as simply researching topics or learning more about social justice, activism, things like that, what you can do to help in your community, or what you can do to be heard. We have tons of great books, fiction and nonfiction, that detail certain topics within social justice and activism. These are just a few that stood out to me. If you're interested in further recommendations, I would check out my video from last February, which highlights a lot of Black voices. So without further ado, let's get into the other recommendations. Now, the first book I have to tell you guys about is actually one that I've talked about in the past. It is called Pride by E.B. Zaboy, and this one is probably one of my favorite books that I read last year. It's a Pride and Prejudice retelling set in the modern day in Brooklyn, and it deals a lot with race and class, but also more specifically, it deals with something called gentrification. So gentrification is basically when a wealthier person or corporation buys a house or land in a lower income part of a neighborhood or city. They spend a lot of money, they raise the value of the property around it, which means it forces lower income people out of the neighborhood and makes it harder for them to live. And that's exactly what happens in Pride, when our main character Zuri is forced to look out her window every day and see the sparkling new fancy house of the Darcy family. And the Darcy family has 2 teenage sons, and one of them catches the eye of Zuri's sister. Now, because Zuri is super overprotective of her siblings, she goes along with it and gets closer to the other Darcy son, Darius. Now, while this family is super arrogant and super conceited and wealthy, as Zuri starts to peel back the layers and kind of get to know the brothers, she realizes that not everything is so black and white. Now, while this one is heavier with important topics, it does also have some romance in it, and it has that fun contemporary humor twist to it. So definitely, if you are a fan of The Poet X, or just contemporary romance in general, I would give this one a shot. The second title that I have to tell you guys about is Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar. Now this one deals with heavier topics as well because our main character, Felix, is Black, queer, and transgender. Now, this book follows Felix as he kind of grapples with his identity and where he fits in the world, as well as falling in love for the first time. When a student leaks Felix's dead name as well as pictures of him before he transitioned, Felix starts to wonder if maybe he will never quite fit in. And this book, again, while it is heavy, it is also important because before Felix can fall in love with someone else, he has to know what he needs from himself. And that was Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar. Now, the next book that I have to tell you guys about is called Slay by Brittany Morris. Slay takes an interesting twist on social justice. Our main character, Kira, is very smart. She's an honor student, she's a math tutor, and she's one of the only Black students at her private academy. But when she's not at school, she's a game developer, and no one in her life knows this other side to her. And she has developed a game called Slay. Now, when the game goes viral and someone is killed because of a dispute within the game world, the game is labeled as racist and exclusionary, and Kira must fight to keep this world where she feels like she can be herself, possibly the only place she feels like she can be herself. And to find out what happens with Kira, read Slay by Brittany Morris. The last book I have to tell you guys about is a little bit different as well. It's called Like a Love Story. Now, this book is set in New York City in the late 80s during the height of the AIDS epidemic. Now, this book follows three main characters, Reza, Judy, and Art. And while it does kind of feel like just another teen rom-com, it does also feature important facts and topics about the AIDS epidemic that a lot of people may not know, especially if they're younger like you guys. One of our main characters is not out to his parents or his family, and he is terrified of what could happen because he does live in the time of the AIDS epidemic, and he is seeing all of these really horrible images of propaganda and hearing all these terrible stories. Another one of our main characters has an uncle who suffers from AIDS, so we do see a bit of the tragedy firsthand. But aside from the topic of AIDS, we do also get a bit of the importance of friendship, especially between queer kids and chosen family. And that is all I have for you guys today. If you are interested in signing up for the Box Book Society, you can find the sign up on our February calendar. Our February meeting is going to be on Monday, February 28th at 5 p.m. and you can choose either in person or virtual. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you find some great reads out of this recommendation list, and I hope to see you at our meeting. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!